I am Shequeta from Shero Comics. This is NERDSoul, and we're at SheroCon 2019. My name is Shequeta Smith. I am a publisher, a writer, a creator. I am every woman, I guess is what you can say. Shero Comics is a company that I created when I was doing my book Raven Choi. I wanted to have a publishing arm so I can release the books on. And so I come up with the name Shero Comics, looked it up, nobody had taken it, bought it. It's been a roller coaster ever since. We released 3 books on it, and now we have an event, a Comic-Con that we just murdered. We killed it.
My name is Melina Chavarria, and I am a comic book creator, writer. I wrote a series called The Magic Glasses. I had it published actually in English and Spanish. I also write poetry and other children's stories.
My name is Lela Lee, and I'm the cartoonist creator of Angry Little Asian Girl and Angry Little Girls.
Hi everyone, I'm Danica, and I wear many hats. I am a YouTuber. I have a YouTube channel called DIY with Danica. Please check it out and subscribe. I show how to do lots of different crafts. I have a little bit of cosplay going on there. Upgrade some things in your closet.
So my book series is Raven Choi. It's about a girl, she's 5 years old. A hitman kills her parents right in front of her. They send her off to Korea as witness protection, adopted by a Korean family, so she becomes a Choi. She's a Johnson before, it's a black woman. She finds a clue her dad left in her teddy bear, it's a taped confession, decides to come back to America to find a killer, and becomes a bounty hunter in the process. So it's 5 parts to the book. The first 3 parts are out. The 4th book, we've started working on a little bit, but I'm gonna go hard starting next week now that this is done. SheroCon is a comic con that I put on. Like, my company focuses on women in comics, and minority women in particular. So for Women's History Month, I wanted to do something, I wanted to partner up with someone, a company or someone that was doing something already. I started looking in January, there wasn't really much happening. So I was just like, well, I could do a little small con, you know, bring my writer friends together, we can kind of sell some books at a comic shop or something. That's a good idea, let's do that. So then I was like, about to call my comic shop owner, and I was like, well, let me call the mall. Maybe they're having something for Women's History Month that we can kind of tag on or whatever. So I called them, we have nothing going on, but I like that idea. And so I was like, okay, can you do that? Okay. So SheroCon is here. Like, I have been thinking about doing SheroCon for a while. I thought it was gonna be coming like 2 years later or just down the line. I was in Korea like last year, and I was walking through the mall. I went to a Comic-Con in Korea. And so I was walking through the mall, I saw they were having a pop-up like sale, like they were selling clothes. And so I was telling my producer, I was like, yeah, I really want to do a Comic-Con, a pop-up Comic-Con. I was thinking about doing it at roller skating rinks so I can get right with the kids. And so I'm still gonna do that. But the mall is just like, there's already a built-in audience, you know, people are interested in comics now. It's just like the perfect storm, I think. And so when they told me, yeah, I was just like, okay. And so a couple of different malls were interested, but then this is the mall that actually followed through with it and wanted me to have it here because it's bigger than the other malls.
My name is Raquel. I am my mom's helper. She makes them all. She makes all the crochets. She started doing small beanies like this. And then I'm like, Mom, this is so boring. Why don't we do something different? And then I started sending her pictures of little characters, and she started doing them all.
Hi, my name is Madeleine Holly Rosie. I'm the writer-creator of the steampunk supernatural series, Boston Metaphysical Society. And it's a story about an ex-Pinkerton detective, a spirit photographer, and a genius scientist who battles supernatural forces in late 1800s Boston.
My name is Jess Kovic, and I'm a designer and illustrator, and I have my own online shop called SugarbunchCreative.com.
So we started out today with Lolita Ritmanis. She is the composer that did Justice League. So the soundtrack for Justice League, it was her. She did Batman Beyond, what she won an Emmy for. She's 10-time nominated composer. She is amazing. Like, if you listen to her music, it just feels like you're going to become a superhero. So getting her here, and she was excited. She brought some of her music with her, so we were able to kind of do a raffle to give away some of her music. She's amazing. Just simply amazing. I love music. Music is why I write. I mean, it inspires me to write. So when I hear music, I can see the scenes. So like her music especially is the type of music that I like to write to. Like writing dramatic parts, the action sequence or whatever. So having her here was like, I almost cried when she was gonna come. So she was the first person that was up. After her, We had Casey Moosman, is a special effects makeup artist, amazing. Like, she was on Sci-Fi's show Face Off back in 2017. She was a runner-up, but she came today. She had her own stage to the side. She did a demo, a live-action demo of what it's like to do a prosthetic face. So she made like he was what was he considered? Maybe not a vampire. He was a monster. She made a monster. We call him the Westfield Monster. And yeah, so she came and killed it. You can go to her Instagram. She's awesome. We also had Rebecca Boyko. She is Scarlett Johansson's stunt double in Avengers Endgame. She's in Avengers Endgame. She's Scarlett Johansson's additional stunt woman. She's also an actress, and so she's also a body double. Just kind of told us her story of what she's done. So she was amazing. The kids were into it. The people were into it. And then last up was Janeshia Adams from Black Panther. She was one of the 8 Dora Milaje. She was Okoye. She was the stunt double. So all the stuff you see in the movie, all the badass stuff was happening. She was the one doing that on top of the car, all that crap. So she came, funny as hell, killed it. The crowd loved her. They were taking pictures afterwards. I mean, she's amazing. I mean, she's not only just that. She was in Avengers Infinity War. She was in the upcoming Godzilla. Her resume is just ridiculous. And she started out as a female wrestler. And she was, so she told her story, so that was amazing. To see little black girls kind of see her and see their eyes light up and what's possible for them. So that's what this event was really about, was showing them that there's other avenues, different careers that they can try in entertainment that aren't just being an actress or aren't just, you know, being a makeup artist. There's lots of different ones. We had makeup artists, we had composer, we had stunt woman, we had actress, we had me. I'm a businesswoman, I'm a hustler. I do comics, and I brought some comic book, one of my friends up here, they did a panel on writing comics, and so I think a lot of little girls now see that as an option for them when they may not have saw that before. So that's what this is about, is showing them that there are other options. We had fun, we do amazing things, and to show them that, because if you don't see it, you don't know it's there.
It is a weekly comic strip that I started in college, and it's become sort of a brand of its own merchandise, and I still draw the weeklies.
I also am an author. I have 2 published novels, one of which is War of the Culbersons, and I am also a teacher, so I teach.
So it started out with me, like maybe 5 people that I knew. That's who like I first did them all. These are my 5 girls. And then it kind of like, well, I want to have at least, I want to give everybody the opportunity to come and showcase what they're doing. So it kind of grew. So from there, I was getting emails from women when I started finding out about the event. So some of them came just straight from email, I want to be a part of this, and they joined it. Some of them were recommendations from other people, like you should contact this person. So yeah, it was very diverse. Like I wanted this event to be that way, but I didn't realize it was going to end up that way. Even with like I say, that there's a lot of comic cons, not a lot of comic books. I was kind of concerned that it was just going to be kind of like just artists, like crochet artists or people that do that, rather than having people that actually do comic books. But it ended up being like 50-50. So I was really excited about that because, like I said, I've been doing comic cons all over the place. And there's a lot of comic cons. And I think in Korea, I was probably only one of 2 people that were selling books. Everybody else was selling, either they were drawing stuff or they had like things they had made or like sewn or designed or whatever. So I'm like, I really want people to be able to buy books and to read about what's happening in their life, or what's happening in their mind, what they're coming up with. Because I mean, it's a whole business. Black Panther made $1 billion. It's literature, man. It's like, it's intellectual property. So it's like, that's what you should be creating out here. A lot of kids are out here saying stuff on Twitter or tweeting stuff. Wrap that up into a story and sell it, or wrap it up into a story and make a short film from it, instead of just letting it go out there and everybody's taking your Negro lectual property, is what I call it. Like make your own money on Negro lectual property. That's what I'm doing with Raven Choi, instead of just giving it out there and just like, oh, here.
So the Magic Glasses we actually self-published back in 2017 with the first issue, and we released issue 2 last year, 2018. And it's a comic book series about a young Latina growing up in South Central LA. She's just trying to navigate, you know, the neighborhood and everything that's happening in her family and in her community, trying to figure out what she's going to do with her life and who she is. Ultimately, she sneaks off to a rave, gets into some problems, and has to find the magic glasses to help her figure things out.
Entrepreneurism to me is hard work. It is no days off, it's sacrifice, you can't go out to everything. There's no fear of missing out because you're creating what they're going to be missing out on eventually. Like I'm creating movies, I'm creating a movement of Sheros, I'm creating a comic book property that's hopefully going to change the world's perspective of Black women. And I think it's already doing that because my character is international. She's not just American. She grew up in Korea. She's Black, but she grew up somewhere else. So it's like I have my books translated into Korean. My books are translated into Spanish. So it's just like I think that's what entrepreneurism is to me, is taking yourself and your product and being able to sell it across the board to people. Some people do things very specific or very niche, and that's great. But for me, I want worldwide domination. So that's what I'm doing. I'm putting it in their languages. When I was in Korea, when people came to my table, they didn't speak a lick of English. But I had my cards made up to where they can read about the story in Korean. So even if we didn't speak in English, I took their money, they took my book, and it was a sale. And that's what I'm doing, is exchanging and building bridges to other cultures between everybody. So, I mean, there's a big business out there, especially for women. So that's what I'm doing.
There's a lot of different ideas that you have, and sometimes it comes out as poetry, sometimes it comes out just as a short story or as a comic book series. So it's just a way for me to kind of like let out some of those creative juices, and maybe, you know, while I'm maybe stuck on an idea for a comic book I'm working on, sometimes I'll get an idea for a poem instead. So it kind of helps give me a little bit of a break.
I tried being a daily. I tried to draw a daily comic strip to see if I could handle that workload. I couldn't do it, but a weekly I can definitely do.
This is a high. This event was successful. This event it's going to be talked about. I think it's probably going to be on the news on Monday. That's a high. The low is getting to this event. I planned this Comic-Con in 4 weeks, or a month. Well, actually, no, it's less than that, because February, Black History Month, is the shortest month of the year. So I started this February the 1st, and it's March 9th. So I had very, very, very short window of time to do this event, and I've never done a Comic-Con before. I've been to plenty, but I've never done one. So a lot of work, a lot of work. I can't even tell you. I probably lost weight because you're doing everything and you may not be able to eat. And so I'm having to make myself eat because there's just like so much to get done. I'm asking celebrities to come. Like we asked Linda Carter to come. She didn't get to make it, but I was trying to do a surprise celebrity. But I got who I got, which was great to have any celebrity at all. So it was so much work to get to this, and so it was a low getting to here because it's like there was red tape with them all too. There's rules that they have that most Comic-Cons, we don't have those rules. So I had to kind of flex and try to figure out a way to fit into their rules and do this. And that was up until this week. So Wednesday, I was going back and forth with them over insurance and the type of insurance that we need to have to cover everybody that was here today. And so as a businesswoman, those are the things you have to learn to deal with. As a creator, you don't deal with those things. So a lot of creators don't like the business side because it's a lot of red tape, it's a lot of crap you got to go through to get to this high. But for me, I've been in corporate America for like the past 15 years. I've spent 6 years at Coca-Cola. It's like getting a master's in marketing. So that's what I do. I'm able to incorporate the business marketing side of things with my creative side. I'm a Gemini, so I kind of bring them both together. And so that's where you get stuff like this. But it's highs and lows, and most of them are about trying to get stuff to work out for you. And then days like this, when it does work out, that makes being an entrepreneur worth it. And they're already talking about doing more. Even like the International Westfield wants pictures on Monday. They want to see what this is about. They've never had this is the first Comic-Con in the mall in Westfield, or Westfield property. So, yes. You see, yeah, you got me? Yeah, something's happening here.
Because I like merchandise, and I also feel that girls are not allowed to express any anger, and my merchandise, I kind of think of it as candy-coated medicine. It actually lets a girl that has it feel like she's allowed to be angry, and it also spreads the visual messaging that when other people who are not thinking about that, they see it, it might shift their brain and thinking a little bit to be like, okay, girls can be angry. It sort of gives permission in a way.
I also have an Etsy page where I sell this beautiful jewelry. That is called Knotty by Danica, Knotty, and you will be able to find unique pieces like this that not everyone else will be wearing.
I think the princesses, they are so pretty. You know, you can see I am horrible with the names. My son can tell them all, but I'm horrible with the names. But I think it's so pretty when she does the hairs and little, like look at this hair, and she braids them and she puts little decoration. I love them. Obviously, my husband likes the superheroes, you know, but I love the princesses.
So what's next for SheroCon? I am going to be talking to them all again, probably on Monday or Tuesday, about what happened here, what they want to do moving forward. If they want to do more of these, I'm down. I mean, that was kind of the idea, is kind of test this out to see if it's successful, and to go and take it to other places. There's a lot of small towns that may not even be aware of all the comic book properties that are out there, or the people in their city that are doing comics. So we can go to those places and kind of showcase what a Comic-Con is like. They may not, in Alabama, like where I'm from, Salisbury, North Carolina, we've never had a Comic-Con. We didn't have a comic book shop until maybe 10 years ago. So it's like, I only had Archie and Veronica and the newspaper, the comic strip. That's all I had. So I can take this to other small places and show children what's possible. So that's the future of SheroCon, is doing more of these in maybe malls or roller skating rinks or wherever. No place is too small, no place is too big. So I'm looking at that. It may be international SheroCon. I mean, it's only the beginning. I feel like my advice usually to other women or other people that are doing their business is to let your business evolve. There may be things that you can't control everything, and just let it evolve into what it's going to be. So like Shero Comics, I only created this company to release Raven Choi. I have SheroCon. I've been around the world traveling with my book and with my company, bringing awareness to minority women in comics. So what you may have thought it was going to be may not be where it ends up being, but it may end up being something way better than what you expected. And so that's what's happening here. As far as Shequeta's going to bed immediately. That's a short-term goal. And Shequeta's going to sleep tonight and going to get some food to fill her belly so she's not starving like some little child in a third world country somewhere. Because I'm like, I ain't been eating, I ain't been sleeping too well, but tonight, Chicken's gonna sleep. And then after that, I'm gonna take all this in, because it's kind of like you're in the moment, so you don't really feel what's happening until so tonight, I'll be able to look at the footage and kind of look at the pictures and kind of see what all happened here, what transpired. Like, I was on the stage most of the day, so I didn't get to see what the interactions were like on Artist Alley, but I had a camera guy and I had photographers that were recording it, so I can go back and kind of look at it and see what happened. But from what I saw happen, I think it was pretty darn amazing. So that's what I'm going to be doing, is kind of weighing my options, seeing what's going to be next, what comes in my mind is from this, what grows, what ideas I have leaving this.
I've pretty much been an artist my whole life. I've always been interested in photography and design, and I majored in graphic design in college, so I have a degree, a Bachelor of Arts in graphic design. And I've just worked in corporate America for a really long time, being a designer for different companies and agencies. And about 2 years ago, I've always kind of done some freelance for my own things, but about 2 years ago, I started the online shop and started doing my designs on t-shirts and other apparel, and been doing it ever since. So I have the online shop, and then I come to these in-person events as well.
We started with a 6-issue miniseries drawn by Emily Hugh. We have it all in one big beautiful book. You'll also see that Bell, Edison, Tesla, and Houdini are part of this storyline. And we did continue on with the story in Scourge of the Mechanical Man, which is a Tesla and Granville Wood story with art by Gwen Tavares. And our next book, The Spirit of Rebellion, we just finished a successful Kickstarter a couple of weeks ago. Our best ever. We had 564 backers and made over $17,000. So yay. Because of that, I gave all the backers a big reward and went to a domestic printer, so everyone is going to get their books at least 6 weeks ahead of time.
So what's next for Shero Comics? We have Raven Choi books 4 and 5 coming. We're working on them starting next week, so I jumped from this to going back into the book, which I'm excited about. I'm ready. Everybody's ready for 4 and 5, and I'm ready for 4 and 5 to be done so I can get trade paperback. That's my goal, is to get trade paperback by Christmas. We're also going to go back and do a prequel of Raven. We're going to do a one-shot and see how it does. As a child growing up in Korea, she learns Hapkido as a way to kind of channel her anger from her parents being killed. So we kind of get to see what her life is like after she's adopted, what life is like growing up. Her meeting her best friend Kyoko, who's kind of like a clown, just kind of showing their relationship growing up in Korea. So that's what's next immediately. And then I have the rest of my tour. So I'm doing a tour called the Shiro Universe. I'm going around to international Comic Cons. I've been to Korea, Indonesia, we've been to New York. This was kind of the midway SheroCon, and then we're going to go to Japan for the biggest Comic Con in the world, which is Comic-Con, and then we're going to do South Africa. So Comic Con South Africa in September. And so we've been filming a documentary behind this on Black Limited Comics, and that follows me as I make history and going to these different countries and exploring and seeing if they accept a Black woman on the cover of a comic book, which has been pretty successful so far. So we're proving some stereotypes wrong out here, because they like to tell us that our movies don't make money, or they overseas they don't like Black people, or if you're darker in a paper bag or whatever. Nah, that ain't it. I've been to Indonesia and they bought my books. I went to Korea, we sold out twice. We sold out at the Comic Con, we sold out at the Army base that I went to. So it's like, y'all can keep telling those lies, but I'm gonna be out here doing the work and proving y'all wrong and making money and changing minds and hearts of people when it comes to the stereotypes they have about Black women, and that's what I care about.
The reason it's set in Boston is because that's where the story needed to be set. When I first started developing it, most steampunk was set in Victorian England, and this is a distinctly American story. And I wanted a city that when you said the name out loud to an American, it evoked a sense of history and mythology, and Boston fit the bill. Plus it's a very intimate city, which really fit the story nicely. So that's where I went to Boston.
So what I want the legacy of me to be is that I was here, I changed the world in some kind of way. That's my legacy. That's what, like I say, I'm after worldwide domination. So the places that I've touched, the countries that I've been to, I feel like I've been able to connect with women in those countries. And so eventually I'll be able to go back and do a documentary about the women in different places and what their lives are like. So my legacy, I think, is going to be, or what I want it to be, is that I help other women find their purpose, or find the strength, or find their creativity, or find the confidence to do what they want to do in life. So that's what my legacy as Shequeta. As SheroCon, I can't really wrap my head around it. Like, SheroCon wasn't supposed to happen for 2 years. So the fact that it's here now, I'm not even gonna touch that. That's God. So we're gonna see what he got in store, because that's what I'm following him now, because he made this happen. I'm on a stage. 4 weeks ago, this wasn't even in my mind. I'm on a stage, sitting in front of a step and repeat with my Black girl superhero behind me. The color's wrong, so I'm getting my money back, but still, I'm on a stage that a month ago, this wasn't even in my mind that this was what it was gonna be. It was just gonna be a comic book shop and us sitting behind tables. This is way bigger than I ever imagined. And I say this to my friends, like, I feel like in my life, personally, I have these things or these goals that I wanna do, and I will try to go after them, because I jump in head first and go after it. But sometimes I'm trying to do things small, and then God is like, no, bigger. And so that's what Shiro Comics. It was like I say, I'm just trying to publish my book. No, bigger. Okay, we got SheroCon, we're just gonna do it in a comic book shop. No, bigger. Okay, I'm on the stage now. Okay, we're just gonna go to some Comic Cons and do a documentary. No, international. Okay. And so I'm just following where God is leading me to, and I'm on a stage in the Culver City Mall, where 48,000 people were probably here over the course of today. And all my girls in the Artist Alley tripled and quadrupled the money that they made today, they usually make at other Comic Cons. So that is powerful to me.
Sugar Bunch is, it's almost like an alter ego. It's a lot of my designs I try to express myself through visuals. So it's a lot of my designs, you'll notice, have sunglasses, or a little bit sassy. I use a lot of wordplay. So it's my self-expression. So Sugar Bunch is kind of the alter ego of fake it till you make it, I guess you'd say, or just expressing yourself through your art and through your fashion.
To me, SheroCon is a celebration of women in comics. It's a focus on us. Like, a lot of times at Comic Cons, I mean, you go around the tables and you'll see maybe one lady for every 20-something guys. So a lot of times we may not get the crowd to our tables, and they may not be interested in our books, and they may not think they're interested in our books. But what if we have something where their focus is on us? So I wanted to put together a group of girls, which I did. They came, they all made a lot of money, so they're very happy. And this is a moment in time where it's like we've created something where women are heard in comics. A lot of times we're not. Like, it's all about the boys, like a boys club in a way. So this is something that's focused on women, that's showing what we can do, what we're capable of doing, and what's possible. I think every Shero's different. Some people, like, there was a lady that was up on stage, Debbie Smith, that was here. She's a writer, she does comics. Like, I asked each of them what was their superpower. Hers, she had a heart transplant. Being alive is her superpower. Me, my superpower is hard work. I worked really, really hard to make this event a success. For all the stuff that y'all see, that y'all coming and enjoying, I was like, that kept me up at night. I was not sleeping, like, okay, is this gonna happen? Getting the face painter to come, it was just like, it's all these moving pieces. And I'm able usually to make those moving pieces work for me after it's like thrown in the air, and I'm able to catch all the pieces and make it into something nice. And so I've been doing that with my short films for like the past 10 years. So it's like, okay, this is kind of like putting together a short film, but it's another level. This is a different level of it all, and we handled it. My team came together, my Avengers came together. I assembled a team, the Justice League. We got this.